One domino is still standing, just one. And when it falls, everything you think is stable collapses with it. Because this final domino isn't just connected to Wall Street. It's tied into every bank, every government, every pension fund, every mortgage, every paycheck on earth. And here's the terrifying truth. This time, there is no rescue coming. No emergency bailout, no miracle rate cuts, no central bank big enough to hold the system together. The world is walking toward another financial cliff. And the guardrails are already gone. Let's rewind. September 2008. Lehman Brothers, a 158-year-old financial giant, filed for bankruptcy. In hours, the stock market entered freefall. Banks stopped trusting each other. Credit markets froze like ice. Within weeks, the global economy was choking. Millions lost jobs. Families lost homes. Entire retirements evaporated overnight. And the world was told, this is the worst crisis since the Great Depression. But it didn't become another 1929. Because government stepped in. The Federal Reserve slashed interest rates from over 5% down to zero. They printed trillions of dollars. Washington approved massive bailouts. The system survived, barely. And for years, people repeated the same comforting lie. We fixed it. New regulations, stress tests, stronger banks, safer markets. The crisis was framed like a lesson learned. But here's what no one admits. We didn't solve the problem. We buried it under more debt. In 2008, total global debt was already enormous. About 140 trillion, but by 2026, that number has exploded past 250 trillion. Debt has grown almost twice as fast as the global economy. That's not economic growth, that's financial addiction. Governments are drowning, corporations are leveraged to the ceiling, households are stretched thin. And now, interest payments alone consume trillions every year, money that could have built schools, hospitals, or infrastructure. Instead, it goes to servicing yesterday's mistakes. The world isn't stronger than 2008, it's weaker, because the debt is bigger, the tools are smaller, and the cracks are everywhere. And that's what makes the next collapse different. So here's the question. If another domino falls, who catches the rest? In 2008, central banks still had ammunition. Interest rates were high enough to cut aggressively. Quantitative easing was new. Governments still had borrowing power. But in 2026, they're trapped. Rates are already low. Inflation is still alive. Balance sheets are bloated. The Fed has already fired its biggest weapons, multiple times. And now the world is facing not one crisis, but several, all interconnected. Commercial real estate is cracking. Office buildings are empty. Loans are coming due. Banks are exposed. China's property sector is unraveling. Developers are collapsing. Local governments are suffocating under debt. The second largest economy on earth is slowing into something darker. Meanwhile, sovereign debt is becoming unpayable. Major nations, not just poor countries, are spending more on interest than on their citizens. And here's the nightmare. These dominoes aren't separate. They're bolted together. When one falls, it drags the others down with it. A real estate collapse triggers bank failures. Bank failures freeze credit. Frozen credit kills businesses. Businesses lay off workers. Recession spreads globally. Bond markets panic. Governments lose control. And the scariest part? This time, the rescue teams are broke. The cavalry isn't coming, because they've already spent everything trying to stop the last disaster. So the real question isn't whether the dominoes fall. They're already wobbling. The real question is, which one hits first? It started quietly, almost imperceptibly. At first, it looked like isolated failures. An office building in Manhattan with empty floors. A real estate developer in Shanghai missing a payment. A regional bank quietly struggling under billions in commercial real estate loans. No one paid attention. Headlines flashed for a day, then vanished. But every domino is connected, and in 2026, the connections are everywhere. When the first commercial property defaulted in the US, it wasn't just a loss for a single bank. That default triggered a chain reaction. Lenders marking down loans reduced the bank's available capital. Credit lines tightened. Other banks began to worry about exposure. Suddenly, what seemed small became systemic. A regional bank that held billions in commercial loans was now teetering, vulnerable to every unexpected shock. The leverage was extreme. Every dollar of capital was backed by $10, $20, even $30 in loans. One mistake, one missed payment, and the dominoes would start falling. Meanwhile, across the Pacific, China's property sector was imploding. Developers who had borrowed heavily during the boom could no longer meet their obligations. Local governments, dependent on real estate revenues, were suddenly broke. Construction sites froze, workers were laid off, and consumer spending slowed dramatically. Commodities, from copper to iron ore, plummeted in response to the shrinking demand. Countries that exported to China felt the shock immediately. Brazil, South Africa, Indonesia, their currencies dropped, their debt became unmanageable, and investors fled, triggering panic in multiple emerging markets simultaneously. Back in the US, commercial mortgage-backed securities, the bundles of these loans sold to investors, were failing at unprecedented rates. Regional banks heavily invested in these securities were bleeding money. Some failed outright. Others survived only through accounting maneuvers, hoping no one noticed. Credit markets began freezing. Businesses found it impossible to borrow, and payrolls shrank. Layoffs rose. Consumer spending dropped. The U.S. economy began contracting, and the first domino was falling faster than expected. Sovereign debt became the next domino. Countries with already high debt-to-GDP ratios struggled to make interest payments. Italy, Japan, the United Kingdom, and even the United States faced spiking yields on government bonds. Governments no longer had fiscal room to maneuver. Emergency bailouts became politically impossible. Central banks intervened, but their tools were exhausted. Rate cuts were limited. Quantitative easing had already been applied multiple times, and balance sheets were bloated. Confidence evaporated as markets realized that no one could stop the cascade. Geopolitics quickly responded to economic desperation. China tightened its grip on Taiwan. Russia escalated military action in Ukraine, and trade wars intensified. Supply chains fragmented. Inflation spiked even as economic activity slowed, a dangerous combination known as stagflation. Information traveled faster than ever. Social media amplified fear. High-frequency trading algorithms reacted to market stress, accelerating crashes. A bank could fail in a single day. Stocks could plunge 20% in hours. Panic spread instantly, and the speed of contagion left little time for governments or regulators to respond. By now, the dominoes were no longer separate problems. They were a network of failures. Real estate triggered bank failures, which froze credit, leading to corporate collapses. Governments defaulted. Emerging markets crashed. Commodities collapsed. Confidence in central banks disappeared. Panic fed on panic, and the global financial system teetered on the edge. Even technology, usually a stabilizing force, amplified the chaos. Automated trading systems, instant messaging, and digital banking meant that crises could escalate faster than any human could comprehend. Traditional safeguards designed for slower, decades-old systems were powerless. What once took months to unfold now happened in days, sometimes hours. And in this environment, the final domino wasn't just a single bank, company, or country. It was the network itself. Every financial instrument, every government, every bank, every citizen tied together. The failure of one element could drag the entire system down. By mid-2026, the world was staring at that network of dominoes, wobbling under the weight of debt, leverage, and speed. The first wave was already visible. Empty office towers, mortgage defaults, regional banks on the brink. The second wave approached. Sovereign debt crises, currency collapses, emerging market failures. The third wave loomed on the horizon. Geopolitical tension, supply chain chaos, stagflation. Every wave hit faster than the last, amplifying the impact. By the time the average person noticed, it would be too late. Credit would freeze, jobs would vanish, markets would tumble, and the domino effect would accelerate exponentially. There would be no time to react, no safety net strong enough to stop the chain. This is the story of 2026. Not a single failure, but a cascading collapse across multiple sectors, continents, and systems. A storm of financial destruction moving faster than anyone expected, fueled by debt, leverage, and speed, with no rescue possible. And at the center of it all stands that one final domino. It doesn't just fall, it drags the world with it. And when it tips, nothing will ever be the same. Here's the truth no one is telling you. The tools that saved the world in 2008 are gone. Back then, the Federal Reserve had ammunition. Interest rates were high enough to cut aggressively. Quantitative easing was a fresh, powerful tool. Governments still had fiscal space. Bailouts and stimulus worked because the system hadn't been exhausted yet. Confidence was intact, and the balance sheets were clean enough to make intervention effective. But 2026 is a different world. Interest rates are already near historic lows. Inflation is persistent. Balance sheets are bloated from multiple rounds of quantitative easing. Governments are maxed out, paying trillions every year just in interest on existing debt. The Federal Reserve can cut rates a little, but not enough to stimulate a collapsing economy without reigniting inflation. Quantitative easing has diminishing returns. Printing more money no longer stabilizes markets. It only weakens confidence in the dollar. Fiscal stimulus is politically impossible because debt levels are astronomical. The cavalry isn't coming. There are no more bullets, and that's just the start. The crises are no longer isolated. Commercial real estate is failing. Regional banks are overexposed. Sovereign debt is unsustainable. China's property sector is imploding. Commodity markets are collapsing. Geopolitical tensions are escalating. And these dominoes are all interconnected. When one falls, the others follow. The system itself is vulnerable. Every major bank is leveraged to the hilt. Every government is stretched thin. Every investor is exposed, often unknowingly. Unlike 2008, the collapse won't be limited to a single sector or a country. It will cascade across the globe. The domino effect will accelerate as fear spreads faster than any policy can respond. Social media amplifies panic. High-frequency trading algorithms amplify price swings. A single misstep can trigger a global chain reaction in hours, not months. And even if policymakers act, their options are limited. Aggressive rate cuts would trigger inflation. Printing trillions more would undermine confidence in currencies. Bailouts are impossible without catastrophic political and economic consequences. Every lever that could have stopped a collapse has already been pulled, leaving nothing but fragile hope. The scary part is that this isn't theoretical. The signals are already flashing. Commercial real estate delinquency rates rising, corporate defaults spiking, bond yields surging, stock markets wobbling. Emerging markets are showing cracks. Even developed nations are over-leveraged beyond recovery. Each day the dominoes wobble further. The network of failures grows more fragile, and the gap between panic and collapse shrinks. What this reveals is stark. The next global financial crisis, one to be a repeat of 2008. It will be faster. It will be broader. It will overwhelm governments, central banks, and markets simultaneously. It is not just another recession. It is a systemic collapse waiting for the first spark to ignite a chain reaction. The final domino is not a single bank, a single nation, or a single industry. It is the interconnected global system itself. And when it tips, it won't just cause financial pain. It will reshape economies, societies, and lives. This is the reality of 2026. No bailouts, no intervention, no safety nets. The system is fragile, overstretched, and ready to collapse. And the truth is simple. When the domino falls, the world will change forever. So what do you do when the final domino is wobbling and there's no cavalry coming? You pay attention. Every signal, every metric, every crack in the system becomes critical. You don't guess. You track. You measure. You prepare. Start with the fundamentals. The dollar-yen exchange rate, U.S. Treasury yields, credit spreads, commercial real estate delinquency rates, and the VIX, the fear index. Watch corporate and sovereign debt, unemployment, and the Buffett indicator. When 3 indicators flash red, raise caution. When 5 flash red, reduce stock exposure. When 7 or more flash red, go defensive. Cash, gold, bonds, protect yourself. Information moves at the speed of light. Markets react instantly. Algorithms amplify panic. One misstep could wipe out years of savings. Preparation isn't optional, it's survival. But here's the crucial part. Don't panic. Panic makes you the domino. Slow, deliberate decisions win over emotional reactions. Diversify. Have an emergency fund. Hedge your risk. Reduce exposure to fragile sectors. Protect what you can control. The world may collapse around you, but your actions determine how much you lose or preserve. Knowledge is power. Vigilance is protection, and timing is everything. The dominoes are falling. The network is unstable. The final crash could happen in days, maybe hours. The question isn't whether it will happen. It's when. And the only way to survive it is to watch, prepare, and act before it's too late. Remember this. History doesn't repeat exactly, but it rhymes. 1929, 2008. Patterns repeat, each time faster, bigger, more unforgiving. Every crisis leaves behind more debt, more leverage, more vulnerability. The dominoes are taller now, and the network is more fragile than ever. The final domino isn't a single bank, a single country, or a single market. It's the system itself, the interconnected web of debt, credit, governments, corporations, and global trade. One crack, one failure, and the chain reaction accelerates. Commercial real estate collapses. Banks fail. Credit freezes. Businesses close. Sovereign debt crises erupt. Commodities crash. Emerging markets implode. Social unrest spreads. Confidence evaporates. And it moves faster than anyone can react. Every day you ignore the signals. The dominoes wobble further. Every headline, every default, every spike in yields brings the chain reaction closer. Algorithms accelerate it. Social media amplifies it. Panic spreads instantly. The difference between surviving and losing everything is vigilance. Track the indicators. Prepare your finances. Diversify. Protect cash. Hedge risk. Reduce exposure to fragile sectors. Because when the first domino falls, the rest will follow. And it won't be slow. It won't be predictable. It will be relentless, cascading, unstoppable. One domino left. Just one. And when it tips, it drags the world with it. The question isn't if it falls, it's when. And your only choice is to be ready before it does.